PhLo here. I'm getting started. I don't know what this is going to be on this stream. I just saw a cool area and just decent. Not the best signal ever, but there is a signal, so I just decided to stream. I've been charging my battery since that last issue, but it's still kind of low, but I'll just stream for a while. See how it goes. I think the issue is literally a lot of my USB cords just get bent up around and stuff, thrown in my bag and whatever too much, and so they start I don't know, losing their ability to hold a charge or whatever you call it. They don't keep the electricity flowing enough. So I probably need to buy some more cords, and it's also probably some of my devices, like my phone itself and possibly my battery bank, have not the best connectors because I plug stuff in and out all the time. And the thing that I like least about the whole IRL setup with phones is that you have to have cords dangling off all over the place. What I probably could do, I just realized, is I've never tried this with, oh shoot, just lost my dead cat thing on my microphone. Glad I noticed that. Okay, I don't know what I was saying because I can't get distracted like that and come back from it ever. Never. Not once. It's never going to happen. Okay. Fumbling stuff. Okay, so what I was saying is one of the least favorite things and the worst things in live streaming, period, for IRL is the cords hanging down all over the place and just dealing with cords in general. And I think technically my gimbal can charge my phone, sort of. I mean, I don't know if it would actually charge it, but in theory, just the idea that it could maybe maintain the same charge so it's not dying. Anyway, sort of act like a battery bank, in other words. I haven't tested that though. And I should. I used to do that with my old gimbal. I got this new one, I don't know, a couple of years ago. It's been a while. And it has that same capability. I just don't know how much capacity that built-in battery of the gimbal has. What its capacity is. I wouldn't want to completely drain the gimbal. But the trick that I used to use with my old gimbal is that I could charge my phone with my gimbal, and then I can charge the gimbal with my battery bank, and that seemed to work okay. There is no real ideal setup for charging stuff when you're IRL live streaming that I've discovered. The problem is you have to, if you're using your phone, which kind of sucks. I don't like using my phone to live stream, but if you are, you have to charge your phone. Otherwise it's going to drain the battery very quickly, because live streaming is very intense. So you either have to charge it with a battery bank, but that also overheats the phone and it kills your phone over time quickly, because you're using the battery in a way it's not really designed to be used. So you either have to do that, or ideally just don't use a phone. And I don't really know of a way to do that without buying a bunch of special gear, but I kind of have wanted to over the years get a Raspberry Pi or something like one, a very small mini computer that has enough power to do encoding of a 1080p stream and use that kind of like my OBS box sort of thing. Just carry that around. I would still probably have to use my phone for the internet part of it. So use the cell signal of my cell phone to transmit the data and stuff. My guess is, I don't actually know, but if my phone doesn't have to do all the video tasks, heavy lifting, and the Raspberry Pi thing or whatever is doing most of that, then my guess is that the phone wouldn't be as overtasked, taking life off your phone, but also I'm guessing the battery would last longer too. So I forgot I was gonna do a short here, but oh well, I don't know what to think about shorts anymore. I guess I could still do one. I'd have to use my other phone though. And I don't have good audio. That's the thing. I don't have a good audio solution. But since I'm here, I guess I'll try. Otherwise, I started a short down at the bottom of what it looked like from below, showing the crazy steep lava ridge that I just climbed up. And I'd like to at least finish that little story by showing that I made it up to the top. But I should have thought of that before I started live streaming. I just got distracted with the live streaming. It's so annoying. This is complicated. Anyway, I'm using a different cord that I brought. It's a little bit shorter, which usually the shorter the cord is, the more efficient the charging will be. Problem is, I kind of need a long cord because my battery bank is heavy and I have to have it down in my pocket. It's kind of hard to just hold it. So yeah, it's just complicated, man. It is really... Gear for IRL live streaming is amazingly difficult. I guess, like, if you are doing IRL like in a city or in buildings, you know, that have Wi-Fi, and you know, it's a lot easier. But in some of those cases, you can just plug right into a wall socket or something for power and get a lot better charge. Okay, this sucks. Absolutely sucks. But I need to sit down for a second and see if I can figure this out. I don't know how long I can live stream in this current status, with my battery being kind of down pretty low. It's down to like 40% or something. I'm used to starting out with a full charge, like at 80%. So I don't know. I don't even usually let it get down as far as 40 to 50%. So I don't even know how long I can stream on that kind of charge from that. So. Kind of feels like your gas tank in your car, like it's when it's full, the needle moves, it'll just be on empty. It's an exaggeration. Linear needle on any car I've ever seen. It's like it goes down a lot faster once it's not full anymore. My backpack is so ridiculously full of stuff. I'm trying to hold the gimbal and dig in my insanely full backpack. Like it's, and I'm doing it by feel because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. This is ridiculous. I have to pull everything out, which is, to me, is an absolute nightmare. If I have to like get my backpack off of my back, it actually irritates me a lot. It's very irritating. But even worse than that is when I actually have to pull everything out of my backpack because the one object I'm looking for is like on the bottom or mysteriously hidden, like in an impossible manner. It doesn't make sense. Okay. It's annoying that I didn't think to do this before I started the stream, because now I don't want to stop it now that I've started, so I have to do this junk while I'm holding the camera. That sucks. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do a Bible reading on this stream. I might, but the battery might not allow me to have enough time to do that. That's the other thing about IRL live streaming. It's basically impossible to change your stream title and category and all that stuff while you're out on your phone, especially on multiple platforms like I do. I've thought about just calling every single stream Go With The Flow, just because of that, so I don't have to like think about changing it every time, but part of me resists that. What did I do? Another friendly butterfly today. Oh. I just realized I didn't have my microphone really close to my mouth, so probably nobody heard any of that. Nobody's here anyway, but still. Okay. I'm pretty sure a CIA agent putting a bug on I don't know what you call those people, the kind of people that they use to get information, like they put a person in a situation where they have a bug on them to record information, like in the movies. I'm pretty sure they could do that to any person to immense grand detail 100 times faster than I can do this live streaming stuff, because it's so tedious. It takes forever. I typically take around an hour to prepare for any live stream when I'm out and about, because of how complicated it is. It's gotten better though, because I've actually, it's mainly because I just don't care. Like if you want to actually change the title and reset everything every time, it's just a pain. Unbelievably complicated. Okay. Okay. More or less ready to go. Mainly just want to record a short here. So I made it up to the top of that insanely steep ridge, and then I'm about to head up to what appears to be the kind of top of the ridge. There's kind of a crescent up there, so that's where I'm headed. Okay, so I'm trying something new. That's the first time I've actually tried it, but I've been thinking about that for a long time, or for a few weeks now. Is I brought my old, oh wow, speaking of stupid things, I dropped a thing on the ground. Good thing I saw it. I brought my old wired microphone that I used to use before I had a wireless one, that I route it under my shirt, so that it's protected from the wind by my shirt, and it's just like one of those wired lapel mics, and I plug that into my phone. I've done that for years, like prior to experimenting with various wireless mics, which I've bought like 3 of them, like mainly because I bought 2 like on Temu a couple years ago, just because I couldn't afford anything better. They were literally like $5. It's ridiculous. It's insane cheap, but they weren't very good. I mean, obviously, but they were, for how cheap they were. I think they actually were like maybe $6. I want to say like $6.80 or something for a wireless mic, which is insane. No brand name or anything, just a cheap thing. And I was using that for a while, and then I got another cheap junky one, and so yeah, those, I used them. I mean, I got use out of them, but like looking back on my recordings that I did during that time, they were terrible. So I'm glad I got this newer wireless mic, but it's, I don't know, it has its own challenges. Like, I don't know what was going on that last live stream where it just wasn't picking up properly. I think some of my issues are the like the USB-C connector on my phone is probably just getting kind of worn out and stretched in weird directions every time I use it, so it's probably not keeping a strong contact to get a good charge, or to turn on some kind of peripheral like a microphone or whatever. And I've looked up kits, repair kits for that. You can buy like a USB port replacement card thing and do it yourself, which I'm willing to try that. I'm just a little bit worried about the waterproof seal glass stuff on the phone to get it open. That's the hardest part. Like, once it's open, I have no problem trying, figuring out how to do the connection. Usually it's just a little tape connector. Sometimes it might require soldering, which I don't have experience with that, but usually it's more modular where you can just plug it in. So that's not a big deal. It's just getting the phone open without damaging anything is the big deal, and that's hard. Yeah, another steep one. It's funny, from down there looking up at it, I didn't actually think it looked that steep. But apparently once you get right up next to it, it's almost as bad as that last one. I think not quite as bad, but it's almost the same. Truth be told, I'd actually like to get a second wireless mic that I can use with my old phone for when I'm doing like little shorts and stuff, because then both could have good quality audio. And surprisingly, like, old phones for just shooting little short videos. I mean, I can't speak for every brand because there's 100 brands and a million models of phones, but most of my old phones that I've kept, I keep all my old phones because they have no real value, like other than maybe some companies give you a trade-in value or something when you buy a new phone, but none of mine had that. I kept them. Even if I could get a few dollars for it, it's worth more to me as an old phone that I can use for live streaming than I can get for it with some cash trade-in value or whatever. So if you're into IRL streaming, I recommend keeping all your old phones from now on. Don't ever sell a phone, even if unless it's like completely broken and doesn't work or something. But it's worth keeping your old phones and even putting a few dollars into repairing them. You can use replacement parts on eBay, and if your phone's not working anyway, you're not losing anything by spending $5 on a part and trying to fix it. If it doesn't work, then you're only out $5, but if it works, you've saved yourself a ton of money. It's totally worth it. Just watch a ton of YouTube videos on your exact phone model and the repair procedure, and it's kind of fun to try. Not necessarily speaking out of total experience, because I have not, as of yet, I haven't done what I'm talking about. Like, I haven't repaired a phone. I've repaired cameras, I've repaired TVs. But the idea is similar. It's like, for example, my TV stopped working, I don't know, 5-7 years ago, something like that, and I just kind of guessed. I just bought a motherboard for it, which I think was like $20 on eBay. Opened it up, replaced it, which was very easy to do. Anybody could do that, I guarantee it. It was literally just unscrewing the back, pulling the plastic case off, and I had direct access to the board, so I just unscrewed it, put the new one in, plugged all the little cords in. Super easy. And my TV it's working still to this day, years later. I would have had to buy a whole new TV otherwise. Getting a little bit less steep. What I should look into, I've thought about it, is some kind of attachment for my battery bank that can hook up to my gimbal, sort of up higher on the handle. Because then I could use a shorter cord so the charge would be more effective, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. I have a shorter cord, but I'm holding it with awkwardly in between my fingers with my knuckles, and it's not exactly comfortable. I'm not sure how long I can maintain the grip. I actually already have stuff to do that. It's very tacky, but I have some stuff, like just those gear tie rubber cord things that I can use to strap the battery bank to the gimbal, and I've done that before. But I've never really liked how it feels when I'm holding it. There's just not a great spot for it to sit. What would be super cool, that's yet another thing, I was talking about that not too long ago. I have these random ideas for things I'd like to make if I had a 3D printer, and that's one of them, is just to make a little holster for my battery bank that it fits in exactly, and then it grips tightly around the shaft of the gimbal, or actually my selfie stick. I have a selfie stick that the gimbal's connected to, and something like that would be really cool. I could even like 3D print like a handle on that. I mean, like a grip, a hand grip on that thing that I just was talking about, where the battery bank is perched in the mount, and then it has like a hand grip on there that I could hold on to. Thing is, I don't know how strong most 3D prints are, but most of the things that I think of to print are not like memorabilia, like figurines and stuff like that. It seems like most people do that stuff. I'm more interested in actually functional inventions and modifications to things, and if they weren't, they'd have to be very rugged, like hold 20 pounds of weight, or just something pretty strong, rigid. I have no idea if that's actually feasible with 3D print materials. Probably depends on the filament, obviously, but it might just be asking a little bit much, some of the practical applications I've thought of. But maybe not. It might be well within the strength capabilities. Got some of that iridescent lava rock up here. It's really cool stuff. Looks like galena, or I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. But it only shows up in direct sunlight, and it never shows up on camera. You just can't appreciate it on camera. However, when I do my microscope streams, which is another kind of content that I do, you can see and appreciate the colors. And I've been meaning to do another one of those, sometime soon. Or I don't know about the word soon, is maybe not the right adverb or whatever, but I have been meaning to do that, because I've picked up a few pretty cool looking rocks that'd be fun to look at. But more than that, or also in addition to that, I've been sort of backlogged or committed to eventually doing a stream with Gibbs a Minute, showing the sand that he sent from Australia on his long trip across the country. I feel kind of bad that I haven't done that. He's been very gracious. He hasn't pestered me at all. Very patient, and he probably doesn't care that much, but he probably also wonders why I haven't followed up on that. It's mainly because my system at home has been so torn apart and in disarray for months and months, because I was installing Linux and moving things around, and so I still actually have not hooked up the microscope since I installed Linux, and I have no clue if it's compatible or if it'll work. So I'll have to try that sometime. It's it's boring content that most people wouldn't like, and it feels kind of like a waste of time, except for me, no streaming content is particularly a waste of time if people are watching and chatting, because like I've said many times, chatters are streamers' number one content. Seriously, somebody sitting playing a video game is not content. What's content is somebody playing a video game and people chatting with them and joking around and making them laugh, and that's content. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter how boring it is, if there's people there to chat, it's fun. It's fun for the streamer, and I suppose it's fun for the viewers. I don't know how, honestly, but I guess if they like the person that they're watching, they don't really care what they're doing as long as they're interacting and stuff. But my channel's kind of the exception to every rule, because I I don't get a lot of activity most of the time, especially on my IRL stuff. My IRL streams are traditionally completely dead. Like that last stream with Dr. Firefly, and I forgot who else was there. A couple people actually dropped by. That's a big deal for me. Like, I've gone hours live streaming on IRL and not had a single person come by. It's very common. So I kind of wish I could get an inside look at this crater. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. That's the crater down there. But I wish I could look up at this wall. But I don't want to get too close to the lava rocks on the edge because I think it's pretty unstable and those could crumble underneath me. So I'm kind of staying over here away from the edge. Normally, these are very unsettled rocks. They're all, each rock that you see is completely separate. I could pick up every single rock, even these big ones. I could just pull that right out. That one, just pull it right out of there. Every single rock that you see is separated from the other ones. So that's why it's so slippery when I'm climbing up these slopes. It's because it's just a bunch of loose rocks, talus, scree, whatever you want to call it. For how loose these rocks are and stuff, it's kind of amazing that all these little plants survive. If I were to step like right here, that whole plant would just get dislodged and start sliding down with my foot because it's there's no stability in these rocks. But somehow they've made roots. Here's another one of those shiny rocks that you can't really see on stream, but if I looked at it under my microscope, it would be very shiny. It's weird to me that they, like, if you take this inside your house, the rock, and look at it indoors, lava rock, like black or something, dark gray, but you walk outside your door into the sunlight, it's like every shade of the rainbow glimmering, and I mean, it looks like I don't know what it looks like, but it looks like a very dulled down version of the, what do you call that? Arkenstone from Hobbit. I mean, that's the best thing I can think of to compare it to. It's just so many colors and sparkling. I dare say this view is even more wide open than that last place I was at. It's pretty nice. I could try to do a Bible reading stream here, I suppose. It's mainly my battery situation that's not great. I wish I'd have noticed that it wasn't charging on that last stream. I guess we'll get a quick short to conclude that last video I was working on. I tend to take like 15 to 20 second chunks, and then I like splice, 2 or 3 to 4 of those together for each short. I always shoot for a minute. I think technically you can do up to 3 minutes for your shorts on YouTube, but if they're under a minute, they'll get approved instantly as a short. If they're over, like 3 minutes, or over a minute and 2 or 3 minutes, they'll still eventually get converted into a short, but it's not an automatic thing. All right. Made it to the top of that ridge and have a pretty awesome panoramic view all the way around. Oh, my color profile just adjusted. I'm going to start over. Made it to the top of that lava ridge. It was kind of a hard climb because of all the crumbly rocks, but I'm awarded with a pretty awesome panoramic view at the top. Alright, that'll do, pig, that'll do. I hate that joke. I mean, it's not a joke, it's just a quote from a movie that's like from my generation that everybody, like, it's so random. Like, it's kind of before memes were a thing. That was a meme, I guess. It's just like an over-quoted movie, and it's not even a good movie. Like, I don't know why everybody quotes that movie. It's the worst. It's the worst movie ever. Well, it's not nearly the worst movie ever. There's a lot of really bad movies, but it's certainly not anything special. I'm tempted to try to do a Bible reading live stream right here because there's a nice semi-flat platform area right there. I think it would be a little bit hard to sit in my little chair though, because the legs would just sink right into those lava gravel rocks. But it's a nice spot. I'm gonna go up to the very top up here and just see what it looks like. I wish I knew what these shiny lava rocks were. Like, maybe there's no one word to identify them, but I did a bunch of searching a while back. And the best I couldn't find anything, honestly. I didn't find any pictures online that looked like what I have. I don't know if that means what I've seen is really unique, or just it's hard to describe in a way that the search engines know what you're talking about, like everything else. But I was just searching for like shiny blue, green, purple, iridescent lava rocks, and literally nobody talks about it on the entire internet. It's really weird. At least back when I was looking into it. But I did find one site somewhere or description of something that sounded kind of like it, and I think they called it a lava glaze, if I remember right. So that's what they called it, and I got the impression that was maybe kind of an accepted term for those things. So it could be what they're called. Just not really sure. It kind of is an apt description because it does kind of resemble a glaze, like on a piece of pottery, where you just put a bunch of whatever crazy colors you want, and then you cover it with some kind of shiny finishing surface. So I guess it would make, it's kind of a sensible thing to call it. There's a lot of that stuff up here though, like but pretty much all of those dark rocks there, a good percentage of them have some shiny quality to them. They look kind of like they're wet, but none of them are, and but yeah, the colors are quite brilliant, or just shockingly shiny. I just wish they would show up on camera. It's kind of mysterious. I don't understand why they don't look shiny or sparkly at all on the camera. It's weird. I mean, if this doesn't show up, I don't know what's happening. In real life, this is very blue and purpley, but when I get it out of focus, I think it shows better somehow. And then when it focuses, it just looks kind of gray. Like, I don't understand that. It's like the camera is taking away all the color or something. It's strange. Usually it's the opposite, like with my Samsung phone. Typically it makes things way oversaturated, but these rocks have some strange quality that it's literally like the kryptonite for Samsung phones. They should actually use that rock inside the Samsung phone to give it more natural colors or something, because Samsung phones massively exaggerate. And so maybe these rocks would somehow correct the color profiles in Samsung phones. I'm just being silly, but hey Emma, good morning. I don't know if it's still morning here or not. It probably is, but just barely. It's probably getting almost to be noon or something. I haven't actually looked at my time for a while. I am on the top of a volcano. Quality's good, nice. Yeah, it's kind of amazing how there's sometimes really good signals up on the top of these places. This would be another great place to do a Bible reading stream, because there's a fairly flat spot. It's pretty windy up here though, which is a little bit challenging to get good audio, but it's a nice spot for sure. View is great. Yeah, it's awesome. I like it too. Get a couple pictures before I forget. I decided to switch to DRO on my Sony a6000. I've been using HDR for a while, but I get just enough images with blurry duplicate features, because it doesn't have an anti-ghosting feature built in. It just like blends the three images together, and you get all these moving branches and twigs, and looks kind of dumb. Or water, like if you take a picture of water, it looks terrible. So DRO is essentially like HDR, but it's just like a tone curve correction on a single image. Anyway, I'm just blabbing. This is an insanely steep crater down here. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't even think I'd want to try to climb down that, honestly. I could climb down right here. It's a little bit more gradual. But like right in front of me, it's such a drop off you can't even see where it goes down. It's crazy looking. Mega steep. Are you using a camera? Technically yes, but it's actually just my cell phone. I have a Samsung S23 Ultra, which is a really good live streaming phone because it has 10 times zoom, so you can like get it. I don't use it as much as I could, but you can really get up close. That's pretty cool, but I don't really use it that much. I prefer to have wide angles, but it's really good for zooming. Oh boy, I just need to decide what I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to do a reading up here just because of my battery scenario. If I was confident I could maintain a charge, I would, but I think it's slowly going down. Like, I probably have, I'm just throwing out numbers, I don't know. Maybe I have an hour and a half left on my battery charge at the current pace of loss. But I have my phone plugged into my battery bank, but the battery bank can't really keep up with the live streaming demands, so it's just slowly draining. When I first bought my phone, I don't remember honestly, but I think it like kept the charge stable without really going down at all. So if I started, for example, at my full recommended 80% charge, I think it would actually just hold steady at 80% throughout the whole live stream, if I remember right. Not totally sure, but it's gotten worse. Like if you use your phone a lot for live streaming, it'll eventually just kind of kill the battery. And in theory, I think if I actually open my phone, which I may choose to do at some point, take the risk and try to do surgery on it. And while I have it open, I would probably try to replace the battery with an aftermarket battery and replace the USB-C connector board on the bottom. And I think if I did those two things, it would basically make it like a brand new phone for my purposes, for the live streaming stuff. The charge would be restored. It would charge faster and it wouldn't drain. I mean, yeah, it would not drain as fast. And some of my cord issues that I have where it seemingly stops charging at all would most likely be solved by the new USB-C board thing. So I want to do that because honestly, batteries and those parts are pretty cheap. So it's worth the small investment. The problem is there's also a chance I could brick my phone or damage it in a significant way. And it is my kind of main phone. I don't buy phones every year like some people. So, having a 2-year-old phone, that's a luxury in my book. I don't buy a phone every year, and I don't even buy them every 4 years typically. So my current phone is a Samsung S23 Ultra, and the last phone I bought was actually also a Samsung. It's the S9, and I bought the S9 back when I first started doing IRL live streams, and at that moment in time, it was considered the best phone for live streaming, and it still is a pretty decent phone. It's old, and so all the new app updates, it doesn't get some of that stuff, or at least the operating system updates, like Android stuff and whatnot. But overall, it was a good phone, and it started really dying though. The battery just completely lost its capacity. But I probably wouldn't have bought the S23 even if I use Visible Wireless, because they have truly unlimited bandwidth. I can use 640 billion terabytes. Maybe if I did that, they'd probably check into my account. But I mean, I can use infinite amounts of gigabytes every month. There's no cap at all whatsoever. So I can live stream to my heart's content, and that's why I got it. But it's cheap too. Visible's only $30 a month or something, compared to Verizon or something that's twice as much. Well, this is a pretty insane crater. It's very steep. I'll get another video or short video up here once I get into the kind of the exact center of it. One of the next thing I should do with AI scripting stuff is to ask AI if it can write some kind of macro or app of some sort that can update all of the titles and categories on the various platforms that I live stream on. That would be super nice, because basically impossible to do when I'm out on my phone in the middle of nowhere. That would be very cool. Okay, I'm gonna get a quick short here if I can. I might make this its own separate one. Hey Flo, here I'm still on that same volcano from last time, but I'm looking down on the crater, kind of centered on it. So here's what it looks like on one side, and I'll just pan across. It's extremely steep down in the center. It's not like your typical like cinder cone, it's more like a very pronounced crescent or crescent shape. But it's also, not only is it a crescent, but it's like tilted down 45 degrees. It's extremely steep down in the middle there. Very interesting and unique shape. Yeah, so my hunch is that like something exploded right down there somewhere, and it just, instead of being like the highest point where it exploded, it probably exploded kind of on the side of this hill, and it just started flowing down very rapidly, and that's what formed that shape down there. Yeah, there sure are a lot of cool rocks up here. I just wish I could share more accurately what they look like on the stream. I'm not sure if the signal will survive me doing this, but I was thinking of going down this hump because there's a slight recess there, and then it goes up higher to an even higher top butte or volcano, basically, that is very similar to this one. It should theoretically be like the same kind of situation, a crescent shaped at a kind of a steep angle. But I'd like to go up there today, but I don't know if I can just continuously live stream the whole experience. The signal might drop off. I'm almost certain it would once I go down into that recessed area. So what I might do instead is end the stream up right where I'm at, and then maybe go explore over that way a little bit until I get higher, close to the top, and maybe I'll do another short stream up there if there's a signal. Which I would expect there to be. I mean, if there's one here, I don't know why there wouldn't be one up higher. But that would probably be a sensible thing to do. This would be kind of a cool spot to do a Bible reading. There's nice shade here, and there's even a little bit of protection from the wind. But like I said, my battery situation is not necessarily ideal. It's obvious there was a fire here. That's why they've got all these black, dry trees. And I'm tempted, like usually when I find a volcano or some kind of geological feature, mountain, butte, whatever, I like to traverse the entire shape so that my recorded GPS track is kind of the same shape as the ridge line. So I'm tempted to just keep going this way, like around and down, but that would send me down the mountain back to where I started, and I want to go up higher. So probably instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up that way, like I mentioned earlier, and explore whatever that is, and then come down, and then maybe I'll go down the other side of this to back down where I was earlier. So yeah, I think I'll end the stream here, maybe give my phone a few minutes to get a few precious percentage points of charge while I'm offline, and then if there's anything interesting up there, I'll do another stream. But yep, thanks for joining me. I will see you all later. Probably another stream today, but if the conditions aren't right, don't wait around for me or anything. All the people that watch my streams and are hanging on my every broadcast. Ha ha. It's a joke. But anyway, I will catch you all.